thanks to the support as a channel member, Rob Harley. We've had a jolly good start to the season, although, good news, we don't have to worry about doing an invincible season this year because we've already messed that up. But today, we have another crack at Manchester City, who ruined everything last year, and a big Champions League match against Barcelona. Hello and welcome to Club 3, part 16 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that big Premier League tie against Manchester City, who've actually started the season quite poorly as Champions League holders. And then we've got a few other matches to play before we get to Barcelona as a big Champions League match. Since you were last with me, this is what's gone on. By and large, a very solid start to the season. Lots of wins, lots of big wins as well. I mean, there's been multiple batterings, a 6, a 6, a 6, a 6, a 5, a 5. We've scored a lot of goals. It's a lot of teams. When we beat Coventry 5-0, Coventry was second in the league. They're still third now, so Coventry doing quite well. But then we lost against Aston Villa, which does take the shine off somewhat. The Premier League table looks like this. So 9 games in, we are top of the league, a point ahead of Liverpool, games in hand on Liverpool and Coventry. So looking pretty good domestically. Champions League is already underway as well. And 3 games in, we are top of that. Manchester City have started that a little bit better than they've started in the Premier League. But I did just check in on Coventry. Ralph Hasenhüttl, still the manager there. He actually spent some money this summer just gone, including buying a player off me. He's not spending big money, but he's kind of breaking even, isn't he? Fraser Donnelly went to West Ham for 35 million. In other news as well, while we're looking back through the old teams, Brackley have made it back into the Football League under Tom Hart, who in real life is Norwich's under-21 assistant manager, in his first managerial job at Brackley. And this is a bit more like it. This is like the kind of appointment they made when they appointed me. He has dragged them back into the Football League after it's been a strange few years at Brackley. Obviously, that's where I came in, got them all the way up to League 2. They got the League 1 promotion that I got most of the way for, but then 2 consecutive relegations, a season of consolidation in the National League, but now champions of National League and now second place in League 2 and looking like they're going to get that return to League 1. The tycoon is long gone, as you can see, long gone, but they are, of course, benefiting from the new stadium that was built while I was there, the Glenn Walker Stadium. It's not massive, but it's nice quality, decent facilities, and they're doing rather well. And some of my boys are still there as well. I noticed Bradley Town still there after all this time, still rattling in the goals. He's basically the only one of my boys still there, to be honest, but he was always our greatest hero anyway. Right, let's beat Manchester City. Talking of heroes, Moniz. Where is he? Let's click on him properly. He's the player I thought we were getting last year. He has arrived as a world superstar. Look at that for a season. 7 appearances, 6 goals, 3 assists, an average rating 7.93. He is the Cristiano Ronaldo regen, and I'm delighted about it. Right, this is the team. Canizares in goal. A back four of Aketsi, Burrows, Mamishi and Gibbons. Steve at the base of the midfield. Larson and Ireland ahead of him. Strobel on the left. Moniz on the right. Ilunga up front. Gibbons looking quite good now. He's getting a little bit of a run in the team, benefiting from Everton Antonio being injured. And of course, t'other guy being moved on. I also noticed as well, we have quite the record for hoovering up young players. I think it was on European Golden Boy? No, it wasn't the European Golden Boy. It was an award that Strobel won 3 times. It might be, yeah, there you go. So if you look back through the last 5 years of FIFA Best Under 21 Men's Player, go back 5 years, Strobel won it, and Ayala, who's our player, finished 3rd. Obviously, we've since signed Strobel. The following year, he won it again. Joe Ireland is the runner-up, who we then went on to sign. Strobel then wins it a 3rd year in a row, and the rest of the top 3 are Ireland and Ilunga. Then Ilunga wins it with Everton Antonio coming in 2nd place. And then the following year, Bruno Moniz wins it. Everton Antonio still 2nd. I think we probably need to have a look at Matteo Barbero, because he's the only one in the last 5 years to be in the top 3 that hasn't ended up as a Manchester United player. So we might have to right that wrong. But let's get our team submitted and hopefully beat a Manchester City team who have had a struggly start to the season. They obviously pushed us really close in the Premier League last year, ended up ruining our fun in the Champions League final as well. So if we can finish them off before we even make it to Christmas, that would be jolly nice. I would enjoy that very much. And there is the man himself, Strobel, on the left-hand side, finds Moniz, whose finish is saved very, very well by the recently crowned FIFA Best Goalkeeper Award man in goal for Manchester City. Cannizzare's finished second, but Mamardashvili won the award. And Levi Burrows is quite good at doing that. The corner comes in to the near post, all 6'6" of him. Levi Burrows, this is why he will always be a part of the plans here. Even if he's not the best defender we've got defensively, he is such a threat from situations like that. We actually played him on the right wing in an EFL Cup game in the last game because he can play there, and we were doing a bit of rotation, so we let him have a little bit of fun. He scored from the right wing. Wasn't even a header. He's an actual half-decent winger. Maybe we should properly convert him. And Cannizzare's has done very well there because that took a huge deflection and he's managed to adjust and still push it round the post for the corner. It's going to be City doing the pervert corner. Kobo back to Foden. Foden runs into the area and Eketsi is there to cover and does very, very well. What a terrible corner that was from Manchester City. And Ilunga leading the charge on the counter-attack and couldn't quite get past the fullback. I mean, who is that? Who's our number 22? Eketsi was getting in Ilunga's way there. Probably should have just taken a step back and let Ilunga have a proper channel to run into. I didn't realise... I feel like some of my players are looking different. Gibbons is now completely bald. Was he always completely bald? I'm not sure these players look the way they normally look. Has there been a secret Football Manager update that I don't know about? For context, I'm recording this on Monday morning. So we've missed the FM25 announced deadline, but I'd like to think you've had something by now. If that something was, we snuck out an update to the way the players look over the weekend, that would explain why. I'm sure Gibbons wasn't bald before. I mean, it's a good look on him. He looks proper hard, but I don't remember him looking like that previously. We're 2-0 up, by the way. Gibbons getting involved. Ilunga takes that beautifully. And what a finish. Ilunga, I can't believe there was ever a plan to play that boy in midfield. At this point, he's one of the best centre-forwards in the world. His positioning here and the way he just uses that one touch to absolutely take the opposition player out of the team and then just dinks it over the top of the best goalkeeper in the world. It's beautiful from him. And frankly, serves Manchester City right for still playing this absurd back four that they play, where they've got the libero and the two inverted fullbacks. I mean, we get it. We all played around with that when FM24 was first out, but it's been 15 months. We've all realised this isn't as effective as just doing a normal back four. It looks fun in the match engine, but it's not massively effective, especially when you've got Foden playing narrow further forward as well. They've basically got one wide man in the entire squad. They're definitely packing the middle, and it's just not working for them. I'm helping Manchester City out here. They need some of my tactical nous, clearly. Steve plays it out, looking for Strobel. Strobel finds the header, but he was under a lot of pressure. It was a poor pass from Steve, to be honest, and it's put us under a little bit of pressure that we didn't necessarily need just on the stroke of half time. But it ends all the way back with the goalkeeper, so I guess we've dealt with it quite well. There's your example of it looking quite good. So Gvardiol steps up to join the midfield, but it means you've got Rico Lewis basically playing centre-back, which it just doesn't seem... I mean, who am I to say? I'm just a handsome entertainer, but playing Gvardiol central midfield and Lewis centre-back seems interesting. But we've messed up here. Mamishi not really under any danger and just gives the ball to Camavinga, who then slides it across to Erling Haaland, who might not be the man he once was. He's 31, 32 now. He's not scoring goals for fun constantly anymore, but he can still score them. If you put it on a plate for him inside the 6-yard box, he'll do a goal. And apparently he can take shots from long range as well. He's their captain. And is he wearing the number 16? He is wearing the number... What a strange number to change him to. Why has Erling Haaland's shirt been changed to the number 16? Does anybody know? Just random Football Manager things? Or is that his actual preferred shirt number and he's just desperate to get that at City in real life? Right, Eketsi Long throw into the penalty area, finds Ilunga. Ilunga lays it off to Larson, who's got space to shape up a shot, but it goes over and remains 2-1. Maniz has picked up a little bit of a knock here. We've not seen the best of him today. He is camera shy, I'm certain of it. He's not in a very good game at all, but Endrick can come on for him. Ilunga is also tiring, so we're going to bring on the youngster Filieri to come on up front. Giuseppe Filieri, who we signed back last January, I think. And we've not used a huge amount of him, but get him involved today. Why not? And then we're also going to take off Steve, and Mainu can come on and sit at the base of the midfield and continue to protect our little back four. In fact, he's going to take a throw in here. Mainu finds Ireland. Ireland back to Mainu, who finds Ireland again. Suspicions of offside, maybe, but we seem to get away with it. And now Mainu has been fouled there, surely. Apparently he hasn't. Haaland's coming away with the ball, and Aketsi is just taking it off him very, very comfortably. Larson now turning in midfield, lays it off to Burrows, and now it's with Aketsi again. Aketsi's had quite a good game today. Strobel finds Ireland. Ireland into Endrick. Endrick scores. It's an 8th goal of the season for Endrick. What a signing he's been, because he's never really been an out-on regular starter, but he's first reserve across the entire front three, and he's our joint top scorer. And, I mean, he's quite the finisher, isn't he? Coming in off that right-hand side. What a finish with the outside of the left foot. Lovely goal from Endrick. And that should be enough to finish Manchester City off. We're 11 points clear of them as things stand. 4 ahead of Liverpool. We're getting some daylight, not just between us and City, but between us and everybody else, which is pretty important. Right, we'll take off Ireland as my final change. Ricky Pilbrow, by the way, has been playing for us this season. 9 games, 2 goals and assists. He's very, very good. He'd never played for Manchester United before this season. He now plays for us regularly. He also plays regularly for England. And Pilbrow has just stepped in, taken Sudakov's squad spot, and it's like you don't even notice there's been a change. We've removed an elite level player, slotted in one of our youngsters who at 22, 23 had never played for us, and it's like he's been here forever. Those 5 years he's had out on loan at various clubs. I mean, he's had 2 years at Marseille. He's come back, quite the footballer. It's 4-1 to Manchester United. Ricky Pilbrow, he's one of our own, and he's just done a goal. And, I mean, I guess important from a Manchester United perspective to keep an academy boy in the squad. Obviously, we've still got Mainu in there. Garnacho's still knocking around the squad as well. But I think probably the best academy boy we've got at the moment is Ricky Pilbrow. And if it wasn't for the fact that Ireland is one of the best players in the world, Pilbrow would already be a regular in the starting 11, and he's probably got an eye on Larsson's spot. Larsson's 29 now, and he's probably going to be the next one to be moved on and aged out of the team. And I think Pilbrow very much has his eye on being Ireland's long-term partner in central midfield. I'm getting choked up about it. Goodness me. Right. Do we care if there's a penalty in the 94th minute when we're 4-1 up? I don't really. There you go. Haaland's going to get the opportunity to pad his stats even further with a pointless penalty at the end of a match they've already lost. But there you go. 2 goals for Haaland. Oh, look how good he is. It was a tap-in and a penalty. You're not impressing anybody with that kind of nonsense. But 4-2, it's still a comfortable win. And now we're going to get through some off-camera matches. The Premier League should take care of itself this season. But let's see how we match up against Barcelona in the Champions League. In about a month's time, we're racing through the season because I'm still working on the assumption we're getting FM25 in March. You might already know we're not. I don't know what to do. Little bit of a dodgy spell. We drew against Utrecht, drew against Southampton, but then did batter Cardiff. But a little bit drawy in there, which has let Liverpool get back involved in a title race. I mean, it's early days to be worrying about that anyway, but we'll see how we get on against Barcelona. Barcelona, who are, why can't I click on Barcelona? There you go. They are top of La Liga, reigning champions of La Liga as well, comfortably top of La Liga, and probably quite a good side. Have we bought, I feel like we've bought players or sold players. I think we've had interactions with them. We bought Gavi off of them. They signed a few players from us there. Oh, they've got Ugarte. We signed Everton. So there's been dealings back and forth with Barcelona over the last few years. Let's go and thump them. It's our usual team. with the exception of Everton Antonio now being fit and back in at right back. So it's Canizares in goal, Aketsi, Burrows, Memishi and Everton Antonio, Steve, Larson and Ireland in midfield, Strobel on the left, Moniz on the right, Ilunga up front. One of the reasons we were drawing in those in between matches is because we are now heavily rotating in the matches that aren't the big matches. We've got a big squad. We've got a full 25-man squad. In fact, it's a 26-man squad. Team Rocket didn't make it into the Champions League squad and is a little bit grumpy about it. So we've got 26 players who are all good enough to be used, and we are rotating pretty heavily in the league. And in the Champions League as well, basically, unless we're playing against the likes of Manchester City or Barcelona, we rarely put this 11 out now. So we need to be careful that we don't mess up the team cohesion. I don't think we can mess the team cohesion up doing that, but if they don't play together very often, they're not going to build those relationships, are they? That's good work from Strobel, getting in behind. Crosses for Moniz, who really should be making proper contact with that and putting us ahead. But it's I'll try not to sneeze all over the microphone, boys and girls. What is wrong with my mouth? We almost signed Kabasi back in the summer, but the deal didn't go through in time. We've also made inquiries about Lamine Yamal. He would cost us like 300 million, so we're probably not going to bring him in. I don't know that we need him now. We've got Strobel and Moniz. Steve, I don't know what you're doing there. That is poor from Steve, and luckily Canizares is there again to get us out of trouble. I imagine Barcelona just particularly upset with us for buying Gavi and then immediately selling him on to Real Madrid and just acting as the go-between. And Ugarte seems to be playing quite well against us today. I guess he's got a point to prove because he was moved on as part of our get rid of the old men policy when I think he was like 29, 30. He wasn't old. Too old for Manchester United, though. Strobel with the corner, the in-swinger, and there's Levi Burrows again. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. Levi Burrows from the corner. I had a little look at his career history just to make sure I've not been completely abusing him on these set pieces, because he scored for England in the international break as well, doing the same thing. But if you actually look at his career history, he's only got 14 goals now in 152 matches. Plus, I think he's got 3 for England in like 20 matches. He's just in a bit of a purple patch at the moment. Scored for us against Manchester City, scored for England in the international break, and has now scored against Barcelona. Moniz with the free kick, and he can't quite keep it down below the crossbar. I need him to play brilliantly in a big match. I am a little bit worried that he might be afraid of big matches. He has no cons, apparently. So he doesn't have it as a characteristic that he's afraid of big matches, but I think he very much likes to bully the teams and the players that he's much better than. And you come up against players who are close to his quality, theoretically still not as good as him, but close to his quality. And he does tend to hide away from the match a little bit. That's brilliant work from Everton Antonio. How did we pick him up for less than 50 million off this Barcelona team? Absolutely ridiculous for him. And that's a terrible pass. Who was that? Was that Larson or Ireland who's played that awful pass, getting us in a world of trouble? And luckily, Canizares is there to make the save because he's a very good goalkeeper. Costa, by the way, talking of goalkeepers and Spanish football, did sign another contract extension at Real Madrid, so he wasn't available for us to bring back on a free transfer in the summer, like I thought we might be able to. A little bit sad. Oh, it would have been nice to bring him back, sell him for 150 million and bring him back on a free transfer a year later. But he did sign another 1-year extension. I guess he's just going to be doing 1-year contracts for the rest of his career, which is mad to spend 150 million on a player and then only let him have 1-year contracts. But it seems to be what he's insisting on, even though we wanted to give him, we tried to insist on a 1 year and he wanted longer, and that's why he wouldn't renew. It's all very complicated. Right, Ilunga makes it 2-0 from the penalty spot, and that should be Barcelona dealt with and us back to the top of the Champions League, which is exactly where we want to be. Obviously, we want to cruise through to those knockout rounds and hopefully make it all the way through to the final and win the thing this year, as long as we don't face Manchester City. That's a lovely goal. It's a clever free kick from Moniz. It's good work from Ireland, and it's a tidy little finish as well. Did I just see Porto a 7-0 up? Goodness me, there's some goals being scored in the Champions League tonight, but that is a very, very clever free kick. Good work from Strobel. Good work from Moniz. Strobel's on a 10 out of 10 so far tonight. 2 assists, and just playing very, very well on that left-hand side. That's the kind of performance we want to see from Maniz. But once again, big game, no show. Steve can come off for Mainu, and then we'll also take off Everton Antonio, who is just recovering from injury. Gibbons has played well in his absence, including starting both of the games for England in between these matches as well. So we got to make sure we don't upset him too much. Right, Elunga's going to come off. Van der Winden, who has been out injured, is now fit enough to be back involved, so he can come on at centre forward. And then we'll also bring Pilbrow in to go alongside Ireland, another one who played both international matches for England on the right-hand side of the midfield three, the way he is there, because for England we've got both Ireland and Bellingham competing with him, but we can stick Ireland out on the left wing. Bellingham is the more attacking in the middle, and Pilbrow plays a little bit deeper for England. And Strobel has topped off an absolutely perfect performance on the left wing with a lovely goal. It is a comfortable 10 out of 10 for him. And if nothing else, he's demonstrating to Barcelona why they should have kept the fancy right back that is played against them today so well for us. They've got Zay Sarau, who of course we got rid of back in the summer, who we sold for 58 million. So they've spent more on him than we spent on Everton Antonio coming the other way. And he's just been absolutely ripped apart today. So Kev wins again. Barcelona 0, Manchester United 4. We're going to win it all this season, boys and girls, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. He said something like that last year, I think. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.